What started as a quiet QB battle in Cleveland has now triggered a full-blown investigation involving league executives, corporate sponsors, and even the NFL Commissioner's Office. Emergency conference calls, broadcast networks demanding answers, ratings tanking, and all signs pointing to one name: Shedeur Sanders. The NFL is no stranger to controversy, but this one's different. This isn't about off-the-field behavior or rule infractions. This is about what happened or didn't happen on the field. Specifically, why the Browns' most exciting young quarterback was pulled at the peak of momentum during a nationally televised game, right before everything imploded. Insiders are calling it systematic sabotage. And now, people at the highest levels of the sport are asking a brutally direct question. Did the Browns intentionally bench Shedeur Sanders, knowing he was the best chance they had? The Browns versus Panthers game drew over 4.5 million viewers. The next matchup against the Rams? Barely 200,000 people stuck around to watch it fall apart. That's not viewer decline. That's a collapse. One so bad it triggered internal panic. According to sources, Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski pulled Shedeur without warning during a high-pressure red zone series, even after a perfect drive. What followed was a visible sideline argument, a thrown interception by Dillon Gabriel, and an atmosphere inside the stadium that went completely flat. Now, the league wants answers. Sponsors are furious, and executives are calling it what it is: a possible cover-up that damaged the NFL's biggest rising star and cost the league millions. What happens next? It could change how the league handles player development, coaching power, and even broadcast control moving forward. This isn't just a quarterback controversy anymore. It's a crisis. Saturday night's Browns versus Rams matchup wasn't just a loss. It was a disaster broadcast live to the entire nation, and it set off alarm bells all the way up to NFL headquarters. The numbers speak louder than any press conference ever could. Just 2 weeks ago, the Browns game against the Panthers pulled in over 4.5 million viewers, largely driven by the buzz around Shedeur Sanders. But during Saturday's game, less than 200,000 remained watching. That's not a dip, that's a free fall. It was so bad, network executives called emergency Sunday meetings with NFL officials. Executives from CBS, Fox, and Amazon demanded an explanation after what insiders now call a weekend implosion. Why the panic? Because quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders don't just generate hype, they drive revenue. His games trend, his highlights go viral, jerseys sell out, and most importantly, viewers show up. So when Sanders was benched mid-drive, red zone, during momentum, and viewers vanished within minutes, TV executives saw it for what it was: a coaching move that cost millions. League insiders now say that wasn't just a questionable substitution. It was the moment that forced the NFL to act. Because this wasn't about poor play. Sanders had shown command, precision, and was building real momentum. Then, inexplicably, he was pulled, and everything collapsed. Sponsors called it reckless. Broadcasters called it sabotage. League execs knew they couldn't let it slide. Now, the NFL is taking this internal dysfunction and turning it into something much bigger: an official investigation into whether the Browns are operating in good faith or protecting outdated loyalties at the expense of the league's future. It all started on the sideline. Now it's knocking on the commissioner's door. This wasn't just a benching. This was a calculated moment that sent the NFL spiraling. Shedeur Sanders had entered the game cold and still managed to light a spark. Paired with second-string receivers, behind a reworked defensive line, and under playoff-level pressure, he still led the Browns on a drive that looked like it was finally waking up a dead stadium and a flat broadcast. Every throw was on time, on target, and with command. Then, right as the offense reached the red zone, as momentum built, he vanished from the field. Coach Kevin Stefanski pulled him. Just like that. No explanation to the media. No timeout called. No injury. Just a quiet substitution that placed Dillon Gabriel behind center. And almost instantly, the spiral began. Gabriel, who hadn't been warming up, missed his first read, blew a protection check, and threw a drive-crushing interception. That one play ended Cleveland's first promising series and sent thousands of viewers scrambling for their remote. But the real eruption came after. Multiple eyewitnesses confirmed Shedeur immediately marched toward Stefanski on the sideline, visibly agitated. Coaches had to step in. The exchange didn't go viral yet, but insiders say it was heated. While the cameras followed Gabriel's struggles on the field, players on the bench were watching something else. Their quarterback pulled for no reason, demanding to know why. This wasn't poor play. This wasn't caution. It looked like control. And in the eyes of NFL executives, it looked like a direct attempt to bury a star they believe could carry the league's next generation. That one play stopped a touchdown drive. Now it might stop a coaching career. One bad substitution can be chalked up to conservative coaching. But a pattern? That's something else entirely. According to multiple reports, Saturday night wasn't the first time Kevin Stefanski made a move that raised eyebrows in the league office. Sources close to the Browns say Shedeur Sanders has repeatedly been kept out of critical game situations. Not because of performance, but because of pre-planned snap limits imposed by Stefanski himself. Here's the problem. Behind closed doors, ownership directives said the opposite. League investigators have already uncovered emails showing the Browns front office asking Stefanski to give Shedeur meaningful reps. Not token snaps, not garbage time, real opportunities. But instead, Shedeur's live-action work has been carefully limited. While protections and play designs appear to overwhelmingly favor veteran Joe Flacco, and to a lesser extent, Dillon Gabriel. Personnel insiders say practice schemes are skewed, reportedly placing Sanders in disadvantaged formations with second-string linemen, limiting his ability to build momentum or chemistry. And yet, even in those conditions, he's delivered. And that's what makes this even more suspicious. If a player is winning with less, why does he keep getting less? Assistant coaches are reportedly divided. Some back Stefanski's structure. Others believe he's holding Sanders back for reasons beyond football. The more you look at each decision, from play calling to protection to reps, the harder it becomes to explain it all as coaching preference. The league sees it, the fans feel it, and the numbers back it up. So the question becomes unavoidable. Is Kevin Stefanski protecting his vets or protecting himself? This isn't just internal drama anymore. This is now an official NFL investigation, and it runs deeper than anyone expected. According to multiple insider reports, Commissioner Roger Goodell held an emergency meeting with league executives and broadcast partners immediately after the Browns-Rams debacle. The goal? To determine whether coaching decisions in Cleveland are violating not just team integrity, but league-wide interests. Text messages, email threads, internal memos, all of it is now being pulled. Executives are reviewing everything from practice plan allocations to game rotation schedules, even going back to off-season communications between Stefanski and the Browns front office. The league isn't just looking for bad coaching. They're looking for signs of something more dangerous: intentional sabotage, contract tampering, and financial manipulation. It sounds dramatic, because it is. The NFL earns almost $18 billion per year from broadcast deals alone, and players like Shedeur Sanders represent future value the league cannot afford to bury. When one franchise's decisions start impacting league ratings, that's not just a team issue. It's a league crisis. Even more telling, sources confirm that footage from multiple games and practices is now under review. NFL operations personnel are analyzing snap counts, formations, protection calls, and quarterback usage data. No detail is too small, No explanation will be taken at face value. Because if the Browns are found guilty of deliberately sidelining their most marketable talent, the consequences won't just be internal. We're talking fines, suspensions, lost draft picks, and potentially the end of Kevin Stefanski's reign in Cleveland. This isn't speculation anymore. It's accountability. If you think this is just about ego or coach versus quarterback, you're missing the bigger picture. This controversy has crossed into the world that actually runs the NFL. Money. The NFL's $18 billion empire is fueled by one thing: engagement. That means ticket sales, jersey purchases, advertiser dollars, and above all, television ratings. Without them, the whole machine starts to break down. And that's exactly what's happening. Following Shedeur Sanders' removal against the Rams, viewer numbers went into freefall. A 4.5 million viewer audience dwindled to just over 200,000 in less than a quarter. Advertisers pulled scheduled ads from social media slots. Networks lost revenue on live spots. Several sponsors were reportedly furious, not because the Browns lost, but because the league's most talked about rookie didn't play. Sanders isn't just another young quarterback. He's a marketing juggernaut. His jersey sales dwarf the rest of the Browns roster. Every video, every clip, every soundbite generates clicks, eyeballs, and dollars. So when Shedeur is pulled mid-drive with no clarity, and when that move leads directly to ratings collapse, it's not bad coaching. It's a business threat. Now, networks like CBS and Fox are pressuring the league. Informal threats have been made. If Sanders isn't featured more, expect reduced primetime slots for Cleveland and less promotional support altogether. That's real leverage. And it's why the investigation is no longer just a probe, it's a warning. Either the Browns fix the problem internally, or the league will step in for them. While execs and analysts argue over game tape and ratings, something equally dangerous is boiling inside the Browns' own building. A divide in the locker room. Sources close to the team say position coaches are splintered, some backing Shedeur Sanders, some refusing to challenge Stefanski's decisions. Meeting rooms have grown tense. Reps are now scrutinized, and players, they're starting to choose sides. A number of veteran linemen are reportedly frustrated by the constant quarterback carousel. They want stability. They want leadership under center. And while some remain loyal to the process, others are openly questioning whether Stefanski's choices are hurting more than helping. Skilled position players, especially wide receivers and backs, are said to be privately favoring Shedeur, praising his timing, leadership, and the energy he brings into the huddle. They've seen what happens when he's on the field, but they also know bringing those feelings public could get them benched right alongside him. Meanwhile, defensive leaders are trying to stay neutral, but even they understand team chemistry doesn't survive when trust in leadership collapses. Inside the facility, every decision is now under a microscope. Practice rotations, sideline body language, even hallway conversations are being monitored or leaked. The focus isn't even on week 1 anymore. It's on damage control. And if things feel shaky now, just imagine what happens if the Browns lose the season opener while Shedeur watches from the bench. This quarterback controversy is no longer hypothetical. It's personal, it's emotional, and it's dividing a team that desperately needs unity. What started as grumbling on Twitter has exploded into a national digital movement. Within 48 hours of the Browns' controversial quarterback swap, hashtags like Free Shedeur and Fire Stefanski began flooding social media. At first, it was just diehard fans venting frustration. Then things escalated, fast. Over 2.3 million impressions hit the trending board within 2 days. Fan-edited videos comparing Shedeur's limited snaps to Gabriel's missteps went viral. Celebrity voices joined in, former players, influencers, commentators. This wasn't just internet noise, it was mainstream, and sponsors noticed. A top Browns partner reportedly paused a campaign rollout, citing audience uncertainty. Season ticket holders began demanding partial refunds, accusing the team of false advertising. Merchandise sales flatlined the minute Shedeur's playing time shrank. Even broadcast networks took action. Executives from Fox and CBS, according to insiders, called the league directly. Their message? If Cleveland keeps benching one of the league's most marketable young players, their TV time will reflect it. Think about that. The broadcast machine that drives the NFL is now in direct conflict with one team's coaching staff. The Browns created this firestorm, but the internet poured gasoline all over it. And now the NFL has no choice but to listen to the fans' loudest voice. The one screaming from every corner of the league, "Play Shedeur." This is no longer internal politics. It's not just analysts talking. It's millions of fans demanding to be heard, and they're not logging off anytime soon. At this point, the Cleveland Browns don't just have a quarterback decision to make, they have a franchise-defining moment staring them in the face. The coaching staff is divided. The locker room is fractured. The fan base is on fire. TV networks are applying pressure, and the league itself is watching every move. And if the NFL's investigation uncovers hard evidence of internal sabotage, then what's currently viewed as dysfunction will quickly shift into scandal and punishment. It doesn't matter how safe any decision feels. In today's NFL, safe doesn't sell. Shedeur does. The Browns can either embrace what they've already built or watch it burn down from the inside. And when Week 1 kicks off, the entire league will have one question on its mind. Did Cleveland finally make the right decision before it was too late?